Good morning, good afternoon. Today we're going to be talking about perfect squares and square roots. 1.3. Your notes should look like this. Okay. I can statements. I can identify perfect squares, calculate square roots, approximate square roots, compare real numbers, order real numbers, and classify real numbers. So here, we probably will not get through this in one video, so we'll have to do it in two. Alright, perfect squares are a number that result from a squaring of an integer. So 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3, so on and so forth, all the way down to 15 times 15. It would be good to memorize these at least first 15. So then the square root is the integer you take times themselves to get that perfect square. So the square root of 49 would be 7. It can be both positive or negative because negative 7 times itself would also get me 49. For equations, square roots undo the squaring of a number. So if I'm trying to find what m is equal to, I would find the square root of it. Okay, so here, circle the numbers that are perfect squares. I would go through real quick, maybe pause it. Okay, so 1 is a perfect square, 1 times 1. Let me go to here. 10 times 10, so 10 times 10 would be the square root of 100. So this is a perfect square. There's nothing times itself, that will get me 12. Oh, this would be 11. This is the square root. This would be 4. There's nothing times itself, that would get me 200. Or 20, or, you know what, I think here, we'll use this just in, so if you see that my square root symbol is on the back side, you can push second, and then that button, and then do 289 in there, and push equal, and it is. It's 17. Okay? Or you could guess and check, because you know 225 is 15, you could go 16 times 16, and then 17 times 17. Okay, so a few vocab. The radical symbol is this guy that kind of looks like the division symbol, but it has a little tail almost here. The radicand is what's inside that number, what's inside here. So to find a square root, you need to think what number times itself is the radicand. So is 16. If the directions are find the square roots, you want to write both the positive and negative. So the square roots of 16 would be positive 4 and negative 4. If it says find the square root, you have to look for the sign that is in front of that radical symbol. So if there's nothing, it's a positive. But if there is a negative sign, then it would be negative. Okay? Okay, the next one. Use what you know about perfect squares and square roots to complete the table. So we're going to do this one together. So 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, 16, 25. What times itself will give me 36? 7 times 7 is 49, 8, 9, 10 would be 100, 11 would be 121, and 12 is 144. Okay, so this next part, what are the square roots? So because it says roots, has an S on the end, it's going to be both positive and negative. And you can do that like that, or you can do positive 7, negative 7. So positive or negative 13, positive or negative 14, positive or negative 15. Okay, now, and I think this might be, oh yeah, they're on there. Okay. So now find the square root. So you're going to look for the sign that is in front of the symbol. So if there's nothing, it's just positive. If there's a negative, it's a negative 7. So this would be 13, negative 14, and negative 15. Okay? So to approximate the square root, you want to first find the perfect square on both sides of the radicand. Whichever is it's closer to is the nearest integer. So square root of 46. What's the perfect squares that are closest to it? Well, 7 times 7 is 49. So the square root of 49 and the square root of 36. These two are the radicands, and those are the perfect squares. So square root of 36 is 6, and the square root of 49 is 7. This number is in between this, so the square root has got to be in between 6 and 7. If you look, that 46 is a lot closer. The difference here is only 3. The difference here is 10. So square root of 46 has got to be closer to 7. So we're going to put approximately 7. It does not equal 7, it's approximately 7. Okay, now we have a negative, so it's going to be a little different, but the smaller one is going to always go here. So the square root, negative square root of 144, and then we have the negative square root of 121. If you notice, square root negative, this would be negative 12, this would be negative 11. It's going to be closer to this one, so it's got to be approximately negative 11. And do you see how negative 12 is smaller than negative 11? That's why I put it on the left side. Okay, using the number line below, find the perfect square. Square is closest to 34. So the square root of 34. So write 25, 34, and 36 in the correct positions on the number line. So if we see, let's count these, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So these marks here are by 2s. So this would be right in between the 24 and the 26, so that would be 25. Again, 32, 34. Okay, so now the square root of 34, this is 5. The square root of 36 is 6. This number here has got to be closer to, so it's closer to 6, so it's approximately 6. Okay, and here I kind of went ahead of my, that's what we should have done there. I kind of got ahead of myself. So, since 34 is closer to square root of 36 than to the square root of 25, 34 is closer to 6 than it is to 5. Okay, comparing and ordering real numbers. You want to write all numbers as the whole numbers or decimals. Remember to write your answer in the original form. So if you have numbers such as something like square root of 3, if you're ordering them, you want to write that, you can approximate it, and then you want to write it. Okay, so 6/5 would be about 1 1/5, which then turns to 1.2. Okay, square root of 3, if we have square root of 4 and square root of, this would be closer to 2. So what is bigger? It's got to be that one. Okay. What is the inequality that compares the numbers square root of 129 and 11.52? What is the approximate value of 129 to the nearest hundredth? Okay, so now to the nearest hundredth, we are actually going, right here, sorry. Okay, so the approximate to the nearest hundredth, square root of 129, would be 121, 11 point something. So square root of 129 is 11. You can't see that, sorry. All right, 11.35 to the nearest hundredth. And to complete this, this would be bigger. Alright, so your assignment on this one, page 29 through 25 odd and 37 through 43 odd. So this one is in 2 days, so the second video will be coming.